Welcome to Focus Interview. Today with me, I have Dr. Jasma Jamaluddin. She is a medical doctor and at the same time an artist, a fine artist who is able to do a lot of paintings, including the abstract that you can see at the background. So we will interview Dr. Jasma today on two aspects. One is on her medical profession, and the other part is on the other half of her brain, which is the artistic part. And hopefully we can relate this into our cybersecurity and privacy issues as well. So welcome to the interview, Dr. Jasma.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm honored.
We are also honored to have you together with us in this focus interview. And let me start rolling it. Dr. Jasma, you are a doctor,
Yes,
not
I
a
am.
PhD doctor like me, but a medical doctor. Now, how come medical doctor is a science and then fine artist is an arts? So, where is your passion? How come you are a medical doctor and at the same time you can maintain your passion in arts? Is there any philosophy or secret behind it?
Truthfully, I would say I would never find my passion or my calling in arts without my knowledge as a doctor and, without my profession as a doctor. I found my passion in art. I started painting when I was in medical school, even. In medical school, we have to sketch all the skeletons in details, That's where I build up the passion. I build up the interest. And I see a path that includes both being the medical doctor and also being an artist. It's not uncommon, but I wanted to bring that into light in the new society.
Wow. Trying to convey the message of science in the form of arts.
Exactly.
Trying to communicate arts in the context of science.
Exactly, that is right.
Wonderful.
Yes.
And where do you learn to develop your art skill?
Like I said, I first started in my medical school, I sketch all the skeletons in detail because we need to learn the anatomy. That's when I started to develop the interest. And then my work with abstraction, it's because what I feel when I treat a patient and also when I work as a doctor. Working and also studying in the medical field is a challenge. As you know, in a hospital, it's a very green place. You see patients every day. They are sick people, and you try to get them back into health. Being healthier. But like I said, it's a grim, black and white place. So for me, trying to convey the sadness the patient felt and what I feel when I treat the patient and bring that into the arts. That's how I wrote my language as an abstract artist and as a doctor onto the canvas.
How do you juggle your time between your work as a medical doctor, on call, 24/7 sometimes, and your artwork?
Well, it's difficult, but when I paint, usually when I have strong feelings, when something happened, then I would feel like painting. It comes out naturally. For example, like something happened at work, something that probably it's hard for me to share with other people. Like example, the death of a patient, a loss of someone. I deal that when I go back home, the first thing I do is I would paint. I would pour out all those feelings, all those devastation, the disappointment that I had in myself, for not being able to save them onto the canvas. So I think that's how I cope with it in a sense. Yeah, so that's how I find time.
Moving on to your painting interest,
Yes.
representations of your work into the arts, conveying the message. And how do you see the evolution of arts into science? And are you seeing these arts as a more a therapeutic, quote unquote, uh, solution for you, or is it for really for the viewers to see?
No, it can be both. And when you link science with art, there's this one engineer, you know, he is also an artist. He's a paper artist. His art is mostly on like folding paper and making it into shapes, and those shapes were studied. You know how it correlates with science, how it correlates with buildings, with structures. So then that's where you see art and science together.
Yeah.
It applies together. So for me, for now, probably my work is mostly to convey what I feel, the feelings inside me. But I hope that in the future, my works would develop more specific into like science. It can be studied even, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure in the future, people would accept it as something that we should study. It should come together with knowledge in science, both science and art.
Right.
But I guess for now, it's mostly, you know, I want the people to, when they look at my painting, they feel something. They hear the story behind the paintings, and it touches them in some way, in one way or another. When I paint them, I think about my patient, their hope to survive and to live despite whatever challenges that they have. They wanted to bloom like wildflower and survive, like flower in a desert, you know,
Wow.
things like that. So
Very hot and dry,
yeah, very hot and dry place, but still they can bloom with colors,
just like a cactus flower.
just like cactus, you
Okay,
know.
cool.
Yeah. So those are what I hope for my patients. What the hopes that they have, hold on to it, and live their life. Those are one of my paintings, the wildflower.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, let's stop for a while. We take a break, short break, and after the break, we will ask more from Dr. Jasma Jamaluddin. welcome back to Focus Interview. Let us continue with more exciting questions with Dr. Jasma Jamaluddin, who is the medical doctor in one of the public hospitals in Malaysia. I will not mention where, and at the same time, she is also a vivid and very passionate artist who paints the imaginations of what happens in the hospital with her patient to us, to the art lovers out there. So welcome back, Dr. Jasma.
Thank you for having me.
Right, continuation to the discussion that we have had earlier. Now I want to move next from your art questions into medical questions. Not necessarily medical per se, but maybe issues surrounding it. Yeah, I'm very interested to know about data privacy. So in your profession as a doctor and also throughout your trainings, becoming a doctor and practicing as a doctor, how do you see data privacy in the context of medical profession?
Data privacy is very, very important. You know, we have to protect the confidentiality of the patients that we see. We can't just simply share it with other people, not even other doctors, and as well as the public, you know, because we need consent from them. If they don't allow it, then we won't do it. So in medical, and it's a medical legal, it's legal, you know, it's a medical legal thing. If it's breached, or you know, if there's problems with it, it can be a problem. You know, you can be sued. You know, the government can be sued. Things like that. Yeah, so data privacy is definitely very important.
And moving on to the next question is, how do you see the practice of data privacy at the moment in the context of Malaysian hospitals or clinics that you have been serving so far?
Well, I'm sure you've heard about like a few cases, you know, where they snap pictures, you know, the pictures become viral, you know, and the public opinion of it is, you know, they are angry towards something because they feel that, oh, it's not right for us to do that and things like that. I would not mention a specific situation. Yeah. So for me, in that sense, you know, we have so many cases of that. So it can be improved, definitely can be improved. And one of the factors that should be improved is whether, you know, is education. We need to educate doctors, you know, healthcare professionals especially, what are the things that we can share and what are the things that we cannot share. Those are very important. Yeah, so definitely can be improved in the future.
So what is your opinion on passerby drivers or passerby that snap photos of accidents, sometimes the death scene, and make it viral? Do you see ethical issues here?
For me personally, I do see ethical issues. Because, you know, to snap a picture of that, you need a consent, because that picture, you know, it doesn't belong to you. It belongs to someone else or even their family. So for you to viral them, you know, things like that, it's unethical. But that's when I said education is important towards the public as well. You know, if they think that it's disrespectful to do that, you know, then they won't do it.
Right.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So it depends on that perception.
Doctor, between arts and science, where is your most passionate area? Science or art?
It's hard for me to say, because for me, it coexisted.
Like the brain, yeah?
Yeah, like the brain, you have both left and right hemisphere, you know,
Yeah.
you can't separate them.
Yeah.
So for me, I already have the knowledge and it will always be there with me. and this passion in arts, I developed them slowly. So they have to go together.
Yeah.
So I have to attend more knowledge, and develop the passion at the same time. So for that, referring to that question, I can't say that it's in the middle, but I am trying to find the balance
Right.
between the two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, it's inspiring. Last but not least, anything you want to say to the public at large, to those who are inspired to be doctors, to be artists, maybe?
All right. For younger generations, for future generations, I believe you don't only have one choice. You can be whoever you want to be, whatever you want to be, as long as you put your heart into it. You can be a doctor, an engineer. At the same time, you can be a singer. You can be an actress.
Yeah.
So live your life the way you want to be, having no regrets, and inspire others. Yeah.
Dr. Jasma,
Yes.
it has been amazing to interview you.
Yeah, it's a
to,
pleasure. Thank you.
And I found a strong balance in you between science and art, something which is not, or which is very, very scarce in Malaysia. In Malaysia, education, we have a separation of two. The science go to science streams, the art goes to art stream. Science and art never mix like water and oil.
Yeah,
But I
correct.
guess you make a breakthrough here. I
Yeah,
mean, indeed, oil and water can mix at the end of the day.
Yes.
Yeah, if you have the willpower to do it.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you again.
Thank
We
you.
will surely meet again in
Yes.
some other events,
Yes.
some other programs.
Yes, sure.
And with that, my last message to audience here: if you have any questions and queries about focus interview with Professor Jazz, you can always email me or call me as stated on the screen. So with that, I'll see you again in the next program of focus interview with Prof Jazz.